2. Microphone on. Tap, tap, tap. There, I think it is. Okay. Man, is everything rolling this morning? Got the schedule release. Jaguars nabbed a tight end from the Buffalo Bills. A blocking tight end, that is. And we'll talk about it all here on the Teal Shirt Report podcast, brought to you by Saucer Realty in Capitol. The Mad Max Mix.weebly.com. I was on Max's show last night on May 14th. Man, they could hear me, and I think Max had a technical difficulty. His mic went out or something, and I know JC, the coffee boy, and Max, they're going to be getting that thing right. Max is such a great show on Wednesday nights. JC will be on Thursday nights with Live from the Pub at LakeUpAllTheHits.com. Great internet radio where it's absolutely all good. We appreciate you guys tuning in. The schedule release is kicking. Did I turn the music off? I think I did. Okay, here's a little bit more of the music. Going to get rolling for the schedule release. I can't think of that tight end's name. We got to look him up, but apparently the Jaguars signed another guy. Maybe that's player number 89 on the roster now. But I think he's projected to be in the 53, right? But if you want to have some offense, you know, this tight end, the Jacksonville signed from Buffalo, he's more of a blocking tight end, more of an inline blocking tight end. But if you want some offense from your tight end, there's no Ingram on the roster this year, but you got some Strange. Brenton Strange is absolutely on the roster. Okay, so I did stop the guitar player for a minute there. Hey, great to have you too, Dad. Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp were rained out on May 14th in the bottom of the first inning, no score. That game, obviously not official. And the Jumbo Shrimp are playing well, though. We'll talk about the Shrimp here in a little bit, but we want to salute Fred Taylor, number 28. Fred Taylor should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Sterling Sharp, great player. But again, and they called him Fragile Fred early in his career, but I think Fred had a much longer career than Sterling did. And the debate rages on. We saw the same thing happen to Tony Baselli, where Tony was a great left tackle, and I think there was there a guard that played with the Jets and the Seahawks that went in ahead of Baselli? Ridiculous. Small market bias against our Jags. That's why everybody's saying Duval. Well, we got the schedule release. They got to play us. We got a team. We got a franchise. Man, I've been here for all 30 years or more, right? Unbelievable. We've covered the Jaguars for years. I've been a fan of the team for years. And the Jaguars story really started with those NFL preseason games in Jacksonville way back in the early 1970s. The World Football League teams that had really good attendance here in Jacksonville in the mid-70s. USFL, where the Jacksonville fans were filling the stadiums most weeks for the Jacksonville Bulls and the USFL, the real USFL going back. I've really toned down my excitement. I've never really been into the UFL. I like the XFL. I like the old classic USFL where Jim Kelly played quarterback for the Houston Gamblers. Herschel Walker played for the New Jersey Generals, the New York New Jersey Generals, whatever they were called. But I'm not a huge fan of the UFL. We will put some scores up occasionally on our Big J Report Facebook group, but it's not the same thing as strictly when it was the XFL. Stadiums are much more empty, and that's because they're saving money. They're probably playing the games in one or two locations, and it cuts down on the travel. The UFL is what it is. It's a minor league. And those guys do play for the love of the game, but they make more money than my semi-pro football friends that truly play for the love of the game. This is the Teal Shirt Report Podcast, episode show number 28. You are here, Teal Shirt Report Podcast. We'll take a look at the schedule. What do they call it? The schedule release. Everybody's so excited about it. I'd say, just give me the schedule and you play the games on the schedule. You know, I'm not as excited about the schedule release as some people, but we're going to talk about it. Fred Taylor, number 28, should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Take a look at the numbers. Fred should be in there. The problem where the Jaguars in Jacksonville has been handcuffed by the Pro Football Hall of Fame is things have really slowed down because Tony Boselli should have got in the Hall of Fame 2 years earlier than he did. Fred should already be in, and now we should be talking about Tom Coughlin getting in and Jimmy Smith getting in. I mean, for God's sakes, Tom Coughlin won a Super Bowl as a head coach with the Giants. He took the Jaguars. He was a part every time the Jaguars went to the AFC Championship game, whether he was the head coach / general manager for 2 of those, and then the executive vice president of football operations for the 3rd AFC title appearance. That's the word I'm looking for. The AFC title appearance at Jacksonville. 3 of them, and Tom Coughlin was involved in all of them. He went on to coach the Giants. I know he won a Super Bowl when he was an assistant coach with the Giants, and when he was a head coach of the Giants, he won a Super Bowl too. Tom Coughlin should be in the Hall of Fame. Fred Taylor should be in the Hall of Fame. And Jimmy Smith should be in the Hall of Fame probably 2 years after they get in, because they're not going to all go in at the same time. Tony Boselli, thank the good Lord, Tony Boselli is now finally in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think Tony went in with, the 2022 class. So Tony's been in for, almost 3 years now, I believe. Well, we'll take a look at the schedule release. The Jaguars pick up that tight end from Buffalo. I believe that was a free agent signing, as I understand it. And congratulations to the Jaguars on putting together a decent draft. I mean, when you're sitting here on May 15th of 2025, the draft looks good on paper, but they got to play the games. They got to go to training camp. Got to keep the guys healthy. It's a crapshoot. You never know what will happen. What will happen with the players the Jaguars have drafted in 2025, namely the main guy. Of course, we wrote a little bit about this on BigJReport.com in the sports section, top of the sports section, talking about the first 3 draft picks, and we've got to go back up and edit it and add the other guys in. But Milam, the guy that played left tackle at West Virginia, I believe he played guard earlier in his career, but he's projected to be an NFL guard. According to John Gaylor, he does not have Milam starting yet, but the guy was drafted in the 3rd round, and so I'm sure the Jags will try to slot him. And there can be injuries, too, where a guy has to go in and play or not able to play. Patrick McCary from the Ravens may start at right guard. Ezra, who recently had a birthday, should be the left guard, you would think. Walker Little at left tackle. I didn't really want to get into the Bucks. What's his name? Hainsey, the Bucks backup center last year, may start for the Jaguars this year. Right tackle should be late first-round pick from a couple of years ago, Anton Harrison. And we're talking about the offensive line, and I always get off on that subject. But Milam, Wyatt Milam, where does he go? Where does he go? Will he be right guard, left guard? He's already been quoted as saying he's not going to let anybody touch his quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. But if Milam is on the bench, maybe he'll just be protecting Trevor over there, making sure a ball doesn't come flying and hitting him or anything like that. But Milam will play, if not in the beginning, eventually. He'll get his shot. But training camp will, obviously be a key. Well, we wanted to talk about the schedule release. Again, the Jumbo Shrimp got postponed due to rain on May 14th, but they're having a good year. I can give you the latest result. The Jumbo Shrimp, did play on Tuesday night, right? I got that result right here. And then we'll get into the schedule release. Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are 25-15. The Jumbo Shrimp beat the Norfolk Tides, and that was on the road. Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp 6, Norfolk Tides 4. A final score on May 13th. That would have been on Tuesday, May 13th. Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp 6, Norfolk Tides 4. In AAA baseball, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are now exactly having a great year, 25-15. They're having the kind of year like the Iceman had in the regular season. We wanted to talk to Mad Max on Mad Max's show, and we did talk to Max off the air, and then something happened to Kablooey, the internet radio station had problems. I think it was Max's mic. That's what I'm trying to say, Max's microphone. So there were trouble with Max's microphone, but they'll get it fixed straight now. Max has too popular a show, man, to keep him quiet. No, you got to get Max back on, get the mic back on. We got to hear Leonard Skinner, Allman Brothers, Doobies, and Atlanta Rhythm Section, Steely Dan. I got to hear Steely Dan. JC, can we hear Steely Dan on your show tonight? You know, I've got this... this thing where I got to hear some Steely Dan. So, JC, let's get Steely Dan on tonight. You pick one. You pick one out. If I can think of one, I'll pick out a song by Steely Dan. Okay, Heart, we found out they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They were inducted in 2013. Pat Benatar inducted in 2022. But Heart is the one coming to Northeast Florida, in just a few weeks down the road. Rick Springfield is going to be in St. Augustine, I believe, on May 29th, along with Wang Chung. It's an 80s. It's like groups from the 80s. John Waite, Wang Chung, John Cafferty, and the headliner, what was his name? Dr. Noah? I can't think of his last name. But on the show, when he was on, it was either General Hospital or One Life to Live. But, message me the comments in the comment section. Rick Springfield, JC said he's still looking as young as ever. But if he's like me, he's not always feeling young. You got the aches and pains, but you got to get your exercise in. Got to walk fast, run a little bit. That's what I do. So you guys, thank you for tuning in. Schedule release. Man, it's 13 minutes in. Again, we're sponsored by Saucer Realty and Capital. For your real estate needs in North Florida, whether it's home, residential, business, or commercial real estate, Larry Saucer, there's a link at bigjreport.com in the homepage area where the weather report is changing. Clear skies in North Florida, high around 93, hot winds today, low 68, clear skies, dry weather continuing. We did get that rain last weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. If you add May all up, it's like 4 inches of rain, slightly over 4 inches of rain in Jacksonville, but 90% of that came this past weekend, like on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So we did have a good amount of rain. That would have been, Monday, May 12th. Today is Thursday, May 15th, and the schedule is out there. Everybody's wild about the schedule release. Okay, it's great to see it on paper. Last year, I looked at the schedule and I said, man, that schedule's pretty tough for the Jaguars in the early going. Okay, I got the schedule release in front of me. It looks like the camera hasn't been broken. We're still going at it here. Mad Max, we wish you well on your technical issues. I know the coffee boy will help you get that straightened out. And Max has a great show, the MadMaxMix.weebly.com. I just know they'll get it straightened out by next Wednesday. Now, those internet radio entities like MadMaxMix.weebly.com and LakeEufaulahits.com, great internet radio where JC does JC's live from the pub show on Thursday nights, getting underway at 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Max is on similar times, but he's on Wednesday nights. So enjoy those shows. Great music. They take a request. JC has a chat box on the website at LakeUpAllTheHits.com. Mad Max will give you his phone number right during the show. You can text him or call him. So technical things happen in radio. One of the best things about radio is the fact that it's instant. Years ago, I got into radio and, hey, the Florida Gators just won. Hey, you could mention the score immediately. That's quicker than the morning paper, right? Back in the day. So radio was instant. So when you have a technical difficulty, that's instant too. So that's why the radio has obstacles, because of the fact that it's so instant. Like we have the microwave oven now. I can put my coffee and creamer in there for about 1 minute. Man, it's hot, ready to go. And there you go. You got the Jags mug. That's pretty good. That's good coffee. We're brought to you by Saucer Realty and Capital. For your real estate needs in North Florida, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We got Jags. I mean, we got Jags content coming out of our ears all season long. So thank you for being here. See the thumbs up there? Give us a thumbs up. Thumbs up. Just one thing for me. Give me a thumbs up on the podcast. And if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel. We got more people subscribing. They're starting to subscribe. We're relatively new on YouTube. We've been podcasting for years. We're in our 6th season of podcasting through audio. Now we're on YouTube. This is like, we've only been podcasting on YouTube for a few months now, it seems like. Glad you're here. We'll check the schedule release. Weather 93 for the high, 68 for the low. Summertime basically here, but clear skies. Wind southwest at about 5 to 9 miles per hour. Back to the schedule release. Week 1, September the 7th. Now, this is an interesting matchup. The Jaguars will play the Carolina Panthers at Everbank Stadium, 1 o'clock p.m. These are the two teams that came into the league, and JC knows what I'm talking about, our executive producer. We were there when the Jaguars got the team. 1 month earlier, the Carolina Panthers had gotten the team, and at that point, the fans were drooping, thinking we're not going to get a team. St. Louis will get the team because they didn't have a team at the time. It was not the St. Louis Stallions. It was the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were named as an NFL franchise back in November of 1993. And then the team started playing almost 2 years later, first regular season in 1995. Jacksonville Jaguars and Carolina Panthers, Week 1, September the 7th. Carolina Panthers coming off a 5-12 season, 3rd place in the NFC South. My God, who was last? Man, who was in 4th place in that division? Somebody had a worse record than the 5-12 Carolina Panthers. Well, we know it wasn't Tampa Bay because they made the playoffs. Well, we'll talk more about that later. But the Carolina Panthers were 5-12 in 2024. But heck, they were 1 game better than the Jags. The Jags were 4-13 in 2024. So the Jaguars tangle with their expansion club nemesis, the teams that came into the league together. This is kind of apropos. Game 1. Everybody's got a chance to win a game. Week 1, September the 7th, the Carolina Panthers, 5-12 from last year. They will play at Everbank Stadium against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Game will be on Fox TV. Week number 2, September the 14th, the Jaguars will play at Cincinnati at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, 1 o'clock kickoff. The Carolina game I mentioned a moment ago is a 1 o'clock kickoff as well. In fact, the first 3 games are all 1 o'clock kickoffs on the schedule. So the first 3 games are all 1 o'clock kickoffs. Let's go back and take a look at the schedule real quickly here. Again, the Carolina game in Week 1 is a 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff on Sunday, September the 7th. Then Week 2, Sunday, September the 14th, the Jaguars. Man, they owe the Bengals. Come on. Week 2 in Cincinnati. You remember when Jalen Ramsey was a Jaguar, bad? and he got in that wide receiver's head from Georgia. Woo! That was a few years ago. Jacksonville Jaguars, Cincinnati Bengals playing in Cincinnati. They call it Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio at 1 o'clock p.m. CBS game in week 2. Week number 3, September the 21st at Everbank Stadium, right back here at the bank. Week number 3, September 21st on a Sunday. Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the Houston Texans at Everbank Stadium, 1 o'clock kickoff. Week number 4, September the 28th, San Francisco. And yeah, you got to go on the road to Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, 4:05 p.m. on Fox. Sound like a national game, doesn't it? 4:05, well, it's just because it's on the West Coast. It's 4:05 p.m. It will be on Fox. Jacksonville Jaguars at the San Francisco 49ers, Week 4, September the 28th at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Now, why is the schedule release so important to everyone? Well, I was told in the Big J Report chat that a guy in our chat named John Benoit, he's got season tickets, I think, to the Buccaneers, maybe the Gators too. So he's got to know what's going on. And I'm sure he's looking at the Bucs schedule. He's more of a Bucs fan. But this is the Jacksonville Jaguars schedule. Week number 4, Jacksonville Jaguars battling the San Francisco 49ers at Levi Stadium. The 49ers did not have the best year last year. They were 6-11. They were really beset with injuries. And they did not have a good year. They're looking to come back in 2025, just like, well, the Jaguars were 4-13 last year. The 49ers were 6-11. Week number 4, September the 28th, the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the San Francisco 49ers. They actually play in Santa Clara, California, 4:05 p.m. kickoff time. That game on Fox. Week number 5, Kansas City. The Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes coming to Everbank Stadium. Week number 5, October the 6th, Kansas City was 15-2. And a lot of people think the Chiefs get help from the officials. We've heard that time and time again. But the Chiefs did not win the Super Bowl. The Eagles won it with a good quarterback and a good offensive line and a darn good defensive line, too. They won it on the line of scrimmage. They kept pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Jacksonville Jaguars play the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs were 15-2. First place in the AFC West. That game will be at Everbank Stadium. Hey, this is a prime timer. 8:15 p.m. This looks like, oh, man. Whoa, Nelly. This is going to be is this a Monday nighter? I'd have to get the calendar out. It doesn't say what day. I think that's Monday night because the next week, week 6, is October 12th. Yeah, that's a Monday nighter. That looks like a Monday nighter. Week number 5, October the 6th. Get your calendars out. That should be Monday night. Kansas City Chiefs. And this is at Everbank Stadium. Boy, Gladstone, man, you fell into prime time, baby. Man, you better hope Travis Hunter shows out. Come on now. Travis Hunter. And on Monday Night Football, do you think Travis Hunter plays wide receiver, then he goes back out and plays a little DB? I think he probably does at home. Kansas City Chiefs at Everbank Stadium against our Jacksonville Jaguars, 8:15 p.m. on October the 6th. Then the next week will be back on Sunday, 6 days later, week 6 at Everbank Stadium. I remember one time the Seattle Seahawks came in and it was a melee. Back when Brother Bortles and the Jags had a playoff team. In Seattle, some of their players were jumping in the stands. You remember that game years ago? Back when the Jags were on their playoff run. They did get beat by the Patriots in the playoffs, as you know. One penalty, 10 yards on the Patriots. Back in January of 2018. I know these things. Jacksonville Jaguars will host the Seattle Seahawks at Everbank Stadium, 1 o'clock p.m. on Fox. Week 6, October the 12th. It should be a Sunday after the Monday night game. Wow. How about that? Sunday, October the 19th, the LA Rams. That game's in the morning. It's in Wembley Stadium. There's only one game in London this year for the Jaguars. Thank goodness. LA Rams 10-7 last year in 2024. Their GM is Les Snead, and now the Jaguars have his protege, one of his assistants, James Gladstone. as the Jacksonville Jaguars general manager. We'll get to the schedule here. Jacksonville Jaguars will play the Los Angeles Rams, 10-7 in 2024. They were first in the NFC West and had a great season. And I think the Rams really overperformed in 2024. Credit their coaching staff. They've got a young coach who's been there for a few years now. And credit Les Snead, the GM. Jacksonville Jaguars play the LA Rams at Wembley Stadium in Wembley. And let's see, that game's 9:30 in the morning. We'll be on the NFL Network on Sunday morning, October the 19th. The Jacksonville Jaguars versus the LA Rams on October the 19th. That's week 7 of the NFL schedule. Week 8 is the bye. The Jaguars' bye comes on October 26th, and they jump right back into it. Week 9, November the 2nd, the Jacksonville Jaguars play the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders, man, this franchise has been in Oakland, Los Angeles, back to Oakland, and now in Las Vegas. The Vegas Raiders had the same record as the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2024, 4-13. This game will be played at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, 4:05 p.m. on the Fox Network. Jacksonville Jaguars at the Las Vegas Raiders. Week 9, November 2nd. Week 10, November the 9th, the Houston Texans on the road. That's a couple of games. That's actually 3 games on the road. You got the game in London, which I think is counted as a home game, but you're not playing in Jacksonville. You're playing in London. Then you get a bye week. You come back to the States, playing the Raiders on the road on November the 2nd. Then November the 9th, you're playing the Houston Texans. And Houston had a 10-7 record last year, by the way. The Houston Texans, they don't have Laramie Tunsil anymore. Man, he was pushing Trayvon Walker around last year. Trayvon couldn't get around Laramie Tunsil, but now he's no longer with the Texans. They traded him. Got really some good value for Laramie Tunsil too. Jaguars play the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium in Houston, 1 o'clock p.m. CBS. In Houston, the Jacksonville Jaguars play at the Houston Texans Week 10, November the 9th, 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff. Week 11, November the 16th, the LA Chargers at Everbank Stadium as the Jags come back home finally. On November the 16th, Sunday, November 16th, the LA Chargers were 11-6. They had a great season. They got Herbert, their quarterback. They got some talent on that team. Los Angeles Chargers, 11-6. In 2024, they were second place in the AFC West behind the Chiefs. And the Los Angeles Chargers will play at the Jacksonville Jaguars at Everbank Stadium, 1 o'clock p.m. CBS, Week 11, November the 16th. Week 12, the next week, November the 23rd, Jags back on the road again against the Arizona Cardinals in Glendale, Arizona, 4:05 p.m. CBS game. Week 12, November the 23rd, Jacksonville Jaguars at the Arizona Cardinals, 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Week 13, the Tennessee Titans. The game is on the road. It seems like the Jags are going on the road a lot. And, of course, they got a lot of games in Jacksonville to kind of finish up the season, too. Tennessee Titans in Nashville, 1 o'clock p.m. CBS, Week 13, November the 30th. Wow, here we go. Week 14, December the 7th, Indianapolis Colts, 8-9 in 2024. Probably might have won more than they should have. They did finish 8-9. Second place, 8-9 to get you second place in the AFC South. The Jacksonville Jaguars will host the Indianapolis Colts at Everbank Stadium, 1 o'clock p.m. on CBS. That's Week 14 on December the 7th. How about this? The Jets coming to town. Baby, the New York Jets. These are not Joe Namath New York Jets. They were 5-12 in 2024. Week number 15, December the 14th, the Jacksonville Jaguars host the New York Jets at Everbank Stadium, 1 o'clock p.m. on CBS. The next week, Week 16, December the 21st. Man, you got to go out to Denver. What the heck? All the way back out to Denver. The Jaguars play the Denver Broncos, who were 10-7. They got a great coach, Sean Payton, now really elevating his program in Denver. I believe Sean Payton now is beginning his 4th year as the Denver Broncos head coach, so they are expecting bigger things in Denver. They were 10-7, had really a good season last year. And the mark of a good coach is win the close games. It's going to come down to close games in this Jacksonville Jaguars schedule. So I got to tell you, the new head coach, Liam Cohen, got his work cut out for him. They're going to go out to Denver. Denver 10-7 in 2024, 3rd place in the AFC West. This game will be played at Empower Field at Mile High Stadium at Mile High in Denver, Colorado, 4:05 p.m. West Coast time, of course. Or are they on Mountain Time in Denver? I think they're on Mountain Time, right? 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time for the kickoff on Fox. Week 16, December the 21st. Jacksonville Jaguars playing at the Denver Broncos. That's Week 16 on December 21st. Week 17, December 28th. Jaguars travel to Indianapolis to play the God-forbidden Colts. Play the Colts. The Indianapolis Colts 8-9 in 2024. This will be the 2nd meeting of the year with the Colts. It's a big one. It's an AFC South divisional game at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. I believe that's the same place they have the Combine most every year. 1:00 p.m. kickoff on Fox. Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts. Week 17 on December the 28th. Week 18, and it may mean something, or it may not mean anything. To be determined, the Tennessee Titans, 3-14 last year. The Jags actually finished 1 game ahead of the Tennessee Titans. And the Titans got a new quarterback. What's the guy's name? Cam Ward from Miami. They drafted him number 1 overall. I don't know where this leaves the guy that puts the mayonnaise in the coffee, Will Levis. Is he still on the roster? Maybe they'll move him. Who knows? NFL training camp is going to be huge this year. There'll be a lot of things going on. Tennessee Titans, 3-14, 4th in the AFC South. The Jags did finish, Doug Peterson's team did finish 3rd in the AFC South in 2024, but it was a terrible 4-13 record. The Tennessee Titans and Jacksonville Jaguars at Everbank Stadium. It looks like Week 18, time and date to be determined. Could be, maybe they move it to Saturday, maybe it's Sunday. But that's basically the schedule. NFL also, man, I don't even want to talk about the preseason. I'll mention the first game. The first game actually is kind of cool. Week 1 of the preseason, August the 9th, the Jaguars play the Pittsburgh Steelers at home at 7:00 p.m. Let's mention the other two. August 17th, week number 2 of the preseason, New Orleans Saints on the road at 1:00 p.m. And the Miami Dolphins on the road in preseason week number 3. Date and time still will be announced at a later date. And that is the complete schedule update, even a mention of the preseason games as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. The tight end the Jaguars got from Buffalo. My goodness, my phone is on charge here. But let me see if I can find the tight end the Jags signed. Did somebody post it? Okay, let me see. Let's pull it up. Jaguars signed tight end from Buffalo. JC will know him well. JC, give us some comments about this guy, but he's more of an inline blocker. Jaguars signed tight end from Buffalo. Again, he's not really a pass-catching threat. That's going to be Brenton Strange. He's going to be kind of taking over for Evan Ingram now, but he did show flashes last year, except for a couple of fumbles he had. Jaguars signed tight end from Buffalo. No longer a Bill, now a Jag. That'll be Quentin Morris. So, JC, you know more about Quentin Morris because you're a Buffalo Bills guy. Jacksonville Jaguars are continuing to reshape their roster for the upcoming 2025 NFL season and reportedly are now signing and have signed former Buffalo Bills tight end Quentin Morris to a 1-year contract. Should we check concerts now? I'm going to say probably not. Go to our website, bigjreport.com. Scroll the Neighbors 2 section. You'll find Rick Springfield coming to Northeast Florida. Also, Hart, Cool story about Hart. One of the sisters actually performs in a wheelchair now. And it's mainly, it's not, I don't think it's really a standing issue. I think it's more of it makes her feel comfortable because of a hurt, I believe a hurt shoulder or arm. That's a story I heard. But Hart, they are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, JC. 2013, they went in. We were discussing another artist, Pat Benatar, did get in 2022. Devo, whip it good. Devo's been nominated, but they're not in. So there you go. But for the concerts, Hart, Rick Springfield, Wang Chung, all the shows, Brad Paisley, a lot of shows up on our website. Go to the BigJReport.com, scroll the Neighbors 2 section, got a lot of stuff in there. We check weather 24/7 on the homepage at BigJReport.com as well. Special thanks to our sponsors, Salsa Realty and Capital, the MadMaxMix.weebly.com. Mad Max, I know you'll get through those technical issues. Man, it happens in radio. I spent like close to 20 years or more running a radio station in Western Georgia. Technical difficulties are part of it, but still, we all loved radio for it being such an instant form of media. You guys have a great day. Thanks to our sponsors, Salsa Realty and Capital. Again, the MadMaxMix.weebly.com. And check out JC live from the pub on Thursday nights. Heck, that'd be tonight on Thursday night, right? Check him out. JC, I got to have some Steely Dan, man. Steely Dan will come up, and any other songs you want to play for me, it's fine with me. JC, and a great show live from the pub on Thursday nights at LakeUpallahits.com. Great internet radio. And the links to Mad Max's show and of course, live from the pub with JC from Lake Upalla Hits. Those links are up on our website in the Neighbors 2 section, along with all the concerts. We don't post all the concerts, but the ones that I would like to go to, the ones I would recommend, check them out at BigJReport.com. Special thanks to our executive producer, JC, also Alex Nunnery. Alex, thanks for all you do in the chat as well, the Big J Report Facebook chat. And thank you guys for checking out the website. And subscribe to our channel. You made it through the whole way. It's hard to do, right? There's a thumbs up. There's a thumbs up right there. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know you liked this episode, the schedule release. Subscribe to the channel. We've got a few more people that are subscribing. We're relatively new to YouTube. We're going to go up and up and up, right? I want to go up. That was an old gospel song, actually. That was performed by a choir that I heard back in the day. I want to go up. We all want to go up. Pete Rose looks like he's going to get in the Hall of Fame. Man, when they said lifetime ban, they meant lifetime ban, didn't they? Pete could not enjoy it while he was on Earth. The late Pete Rose. They let him back into baseball now that he passed on. Wow. Give me your comments about that situation with Pete Rose in the comments too. I got mixed emotions about all of that. Pete Rose was a great player in a great era of baseball back in the 1970s and 1980s. Pete was even playing second base before I even started watching baseball. In the late 60s, I believe. My big era of baseball was the 1970s. I started watching Major League Baseball, started following the Atlanta Braves in the early 1970s. Great era of baseball, the 1970s, early 1980s, and then the 90s for me with Glavine, Maddox, and John Smoltz, and a few other pitchers that really pitched good for the Braves back in the 90s. Man, I love baseball. But man, we love our Jaguars. Duval. That's the schedule release. Man, that's going to do it for episode show number 28. Fred Taylor, number 28, should be in the Hall of Fame. Have a great day. I'm your host, Scott. This has been the Teal Shirt Report Podcast. Episode show number 28. We got in 40 minutes, JC. Thank you, man. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.